Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. First, let me acknowledge Senator Corker, one of the most principled and decent colleagues that I've had the privilege to work with. And despite our party differences, we always saw eye to eye, for obvious reasons. I also want to thank Dr. McLean for her extraordinary service in the United States Air Force. Thank you very much. And finally, I want to commend Wellesley for his composure and patience, which is unusual around here. So, Ms. Greenberg, we've had the privilege of working together for many, many years, and we share in common a great admiration for Paul Sarbanes and the public service, and you, I think, have tried to continue in that tradition. I commend you for that. What we discovered during the pandemic is that our community banks were very much more effective in helping small business than the larger institutions, and much more vital to the communities than, again, the larger institutions. FDIC has the principal responsibility for these banks. Can you comment on the state of community banking and the challenges it faces, and some, please?
No, thank you, Senator. The FDIC, as you know, is the lead federal supervisor for the majority of community banks in the United States. So not only the supervision, but the maintaining a strong community bank sector in the U.S. banking and financial systems we view as really central to the FDIC's mission. And the community banks play a role in our financial system that is really critical and not replaceable. They consistently punch above their weight in terms of their impact on our financial system as a whole. Most obviously, community banks today, as the FDIC defines them, account for about 12% of all the banking assets in the United States. They also provide nearly 40% of all the small loans to businesses and farms in the United States. And their ability to serve a small business and small farms, which are, as you know, very labor intensive in terms of providing financial services to, is really the core of the business model of the community bank, which the larger institutions really do not have a similar interest in serving. So, and we know the importance of small business and small farms to the economy. So the sustaining a viable community bank sector in the United States is really quite critical. And to the other point you raised, community banks have continued to perform quite well in the period since the global financial crisis and during the pandemic, and played a particular and leading role in terms of implementing the PPP program to get loans out to small businesses. So the basic business model of a community bank, which is careful relationship lending funded by stable core deposits, focused on a local community that the bank understands well, has actually held up and proven to be quite competitive and remains critically important to the financial system and is a central responsibility of the FDIC.
Thank you very much. Mr. Hill and Mr. McKernan, I have been trying to expand the Military Lending Act, which caps interest to service members at 36%, to all Americans. I think 36% in this climate is a rather generous interest rate. Would you be supportive of such a proposal, since I would assume most of the FDIC insured institutions charge much less interest rate than that? Mr. Hill first.
Senator, I appreciate all the work that you've done in this area. I do think it is critically important that banks treat their customers fairly, and that loans that banks make to consumers are loans that are affordable and that consumers can repay. With respect to the interest rate cap, I think we always want to be careful on how we balance affordability with access to credit, but would be happy to consider taking a look at the legislation, and certainly if it was passed would implement it as required.
Thank you. Mr. McKernan, please.
Yes, Senator. In my time working for Senator Corker, had a number of conversations with folks at the Pew Trust on some of the creative thinking in that area. And one thing I did take from that is it's a complex issue. I understand what you're trying to get at there. It's an important issue, and would be very eager, if confirmed, to work with you and your staff to provide technical assistance on your work there.
Thank you very much. And Dr. McLean, good luck. Thank you.
Thanks, Larry.